We've all made it to week 3 of a Snake Reviews the Gielinor games. Episode 3, a massive episode. As usual, if you have not watched it yet, you need to go and head on over to Soup's YouTube channel and watch the Gielinor games. Reality TV style challenge RuneScape content. Hard to explain. It's just amazing content. This video will contain heavy spoilers. This is a review of week 3's episode. Now, I've seen some comments saying, won't people know what you're up to in this Gielinor games if you make these reviews? But don't worry, every single episode was filmed before episode 1 even aired. So episode 3 was actually filmed 1 week after episode 2, way back on May the 10th in sunny summer. Now we have the winter summer on Saturday. Big, huge Saturday. Eevescape's Battle Royale. We don't talk about that one. England, France, we don't talk about that one. The Winter Summit was decent, and then Gielinor games. That's what we're all here for. My brain is scrambled. It's just been so busy, so this might be out a little bit late. So before I jump into the challenge, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a seasoning from the DMs. People are messaging each other before the Gielinor games filming even starts on the day. I don't know about the other guys, but I always get like an excited sort of nervousness beforehand, wondering what's going to happen, sort of refreshing my memory with how everything is going down. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of a fun one here from Mr. Vitoso. This is last week. I said, who are you boys this season? And he said, Vitoso is not currently available. Please try again later or leave a message after the tone. Very funny guy. But look who comes back this week. Solo. I feel as though we can come to some sort of arrangement. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, I leak you certain info, you leak me certain info. It really is a win-win situation. Maybe we can start a new YouTube venture together. Solo Vitoso, Vitoso Mission. It really does have a ring to it. I fucking read this in his voice. You just know this is Jen through and through. And you know I had to hit him with it. SoloMission is not currently available. Please try again later or leave a message after the tone. Just a little bit of spice to start this week off. That was before the challenge. And then on to some more serious business. I actually messaged Eevescape. Now, we've been enemies so far. He's essentially sent me into the banning in week 1. I've essentially sent him in week 2. So I send over off each other this week. We've gone 1-1. Do I really want to be enemies for the entire time with this guy? I don't know. Depends if I win or not. If we're offing this week, we off until the end. And I'm like, oh, I'll go top 5 with you. And then I commit here. We can actually, if you want, say less. Okay, lock it in. Just an FYI, everybody wants you out. Now, I know that Eevescape is in a huge alliance. And I'm pretty confident that he is the ringleader. I certainly do not fully trust him. I know he has the ability to be a snaky social player. He's got a lot of people on his side. I need him more than he needs me. Put it that way. So that's the power dynamic there. And obviously he's suspicious of me as well. So he's never going to be able to tell me that much information. Just so you know, I know you're a cheeky web-weaving snake, and I don't trust a word you say, but I love the show, so I'm going along, and I'm just like, lol, I just want to stay in, which is very true. And then he said, yeah, me too, I honestly just want to make the show good for Soup, and respect to Mr. Jake Upton here. But I can't trust a word you are saying. And that brings me back to the board of trying to collect what I was thinking at the time, and all my thoughts on the alliances and everything. Now, this week, super interesting. Bitter just been eliminated last week. And unfortunately, Tanzu had to leave the Gielinor games this week. So he's also gone. And we've gained Victim. Now, Victim as a new player, I don't know too much. I know from his content in the past that he's been very good at PVM and old sort of stuff. Seems like a smart guy, but don't know too much about him. Haven't really spoken to him much. Don't have much of a relationship. Don't even know who he's really friends with here. Maybe settled side more than this side. Purely because he had a vampire locked Iron Man that just came out just before Swampletics. And yeah, they were bonding over that a little bit. But looking very interesting. Purely based on the past actions, I'm super confident that this is all an alliance. I'm super confident that this is all an alliance. And I'm pretty confident that this is all an alliance as well. However, Will, remember last week, I moved him into the center of what is he doing? I'm not too sure, because if you remember last week, it was me, Will, Tasty, and Hannah, and we sent in Eevescape to the banning. So My thought process was there's no way 3 of these people could all be on the same alliance because that would never have happened, surely. But I still wasn't really confident about that. So he's kind of floating around here. These 3 don't know what they're doing. Unallied, maybe. Could be allied up. Not sure. Boaty, assumed apolitical. Mr. Switzerland over here. That's where the games are set up from my perspective. And actually, it's week 3, and I'm already looking a lot better than week 1. I formed a bond with Framed last week, purely because I managed to get EV sent into the banning, which they are very happy with. And then I've just been speaking to EVscape before this week's even started, saying we're going to go top 5 together out of being enemies. All of a sudden, now we're friends. But at the end of the day, all these things are words. People speak with their actions, and I've just got to watch myself. I can't really take anyone's word because everyone just doesn't trust me either. So, yeah. On to the challenge now. The teams are super interesting. Look at the red team. We've got Jimmy settled, Framed, and 8sat. Oh, wow. They're all on the same side of the game in my estimations. And then we've got Torvesta for Toso, EVscape and Hanani also all on the same sort of... I'm really confident they're on the same team. So it's almost like it's alliance v alliance versus with all the other floating people attached on. And Castle Wars 9v9. This was super worrying to me because... if you lose, there's only 9 people that can go into the banning. Only 9 can be nominated, and 2 out of 9, I did not like those odds. I was worried that I would get stuck in here with Boaty or Settled or something like that. I could easily see these guys putting me in the banning, especially because I sent home Ditter, which was part of their alliance, and they would have control of the vote. Likewise, I thought if this team won, the Framed Alliance would have control of the vote as well, but... we'll see what happens with that. Now, as for the challenge, Castle Wars. Our team worked incredibly well together as a unit. So how we split the team up was we sort of saw that we had 3 main PvPers. So me, Framed, and Boaty are probably quite far ahead of the rest of the team in PvP. So we split into different departments. I was with the attacking mages, Boaty was with the scorers, and Framed was like the defensive mages. So we made sure we had one of the 3 strong PKs in each sort of department. And then Boaty ended up taking the lead. My man was on a mission and he led us super well. Like, if you watch the video, he's there burning barricades and shit. Like, he did such a good job. Not gonna lie, because we decided to just camp at 1-0, I didn't actually do a whole lot this challenge because I was an attacking mage, so I could only attack people in their half and everyone was just in our half. So me and Jimmy were just going in and dying and running back. So yeah, I mean, for the score, I got a good freeze time on Sinferna. I've got a lot of multi-PvP experience. Probably, I don't know, because I'm in a PvP team. I don't know, I was underutilized, but it just didn't really matter. I feel like we would have won like 6-0 if we went for the win as well. It was a great performance by our entire team. Everyone just did their job super well. And yeah, I didn't realize we were going to go for the 1-0. If I knew that was going to happen, there's no way I would have chosen to be an attacking mage, but it is what it is. To be fair, me and Jimmy were being complete mole rats. Look at this. Jimmy dies. I come straight back over to come tank for a bit. But we're having 2 people occupying 4 of their members. Just go on them, barrage them, keep them frozen. Their scorers aren't doing anything. So I guess we are just distracting them. And I have to sit here tanking. And I try to catch a freeze when they're going through the middle. Look how many people are just wasting time with me. And yeah, they weren't that organised. And we were, I think, is the difference. Just run straight into the half, run them away from their side, from their flag. And yeah, just being a nuisance. That's all I was doing.
Oh, SoloMission's upstairs? Oh wait, no, he went down.
Yeah, he's on our team.
Destroy that. He's a snake, dude. You never know.
Yeah, that's how much of an impact I was having this game. My teammates didn't even know I was on their team. So we obviously won. What a shot this is. And winning means I'm safe again. 2 wins in a row. Very happy about that. No banning for me. It's been banning, win, win. Now, this is interesting. 9 people get to decide who goes into the banning. On each side. 9 losers, 9 winners. And look at the board. Who's on the winning team? Settled, Jimmy, 8sat, Framed, me, who supposedly has ties to this side. That's already 5 people. We've got Switzerland over here. We've got Will, who's don't really know, and then we've got Zoe. So it's a massive sway towards the left side of the game here, and these guys could just decide who goes in, and I'll back them up. So because Frame's alliance massively outnumbers anyone else, I obviously slide in saying, who you looking to send in? We've got Jimmy settled, 8's at Framed, and I can be the decider, baby. If he's got all these people, they can send whoever they want in. Torvesta most likely it's looking like. But then C Engineer gets put into the banning. Super predictable. 6 votes for C Engineer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 from somewhere else. Catching strays, and it's complete opposite sides of the game. Very expected. He was the one caught out that wasn't with these guys on my team. Now I've got C Engineer pegged as strong allies of all these guys who are on the winning team. He's gone into the banning, so the play is here from these guys to send him in there with somebody weak, so hopefully he survives. Looking at maybe Vitoso or Hanani on this side of the game. However, we jump into the banning call. I don't discuss that with anybody, and this is what happens.
But
who you guys all friends with then? Let's hear it.
That's what this comes down to now, huh?
I'm willing to sacrifice everybody.
I honestly, I
Everyone's
don't mind. I
everyone is
honestly
on the
don't mind.
table, all right. Everyone is on the table, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really. I mean, I honestly have no idea.
Will has
I-
no friends, so it doesn't really matter to him. So
Yeah,
like, we can
Will's
find anyone here.
definitely not allied. What do you
All right,
mean?
listen. I think we send in Torvesta.
So it starts off nice and awkward. Everyone's on the table, that sort of thing. The thing is, in this situation, you're in a call with 9 people. Are you really going to show your entire hand to 9 people? It's a bit of a rough spot, but I thought that Framed would take control, and he does. He goes for Torvesta, but that's not exactly an easy fight for C Engineer, so I'm a bit confused at this point.
You
So, do you
send
want to
in
record?
Torvesta and he wins, he's immune for the next banning. And if it's PvP, there's a better chance he'll beat C Engineer. So it's not really worth putting him in when there's a good chance he might succeed here. We want to put someone in where you don't really know what's going to happen. That's why I'm thinking we put Foe in. Because although he's played Iron Man, he knows, like, he's weaker on the PvP side, but I've been saying he's very strong in every other aspect.
Taking out the big
Well,
dogs.
Well, it all
I'm
depends on
I'm
who you want
so.
to get sent in. Like, do you want C Engineer to go or not, or do you just want it to be even voted?
I'll be honest, I don't think C Engineer's much of a threat, so I'm very happy to keep him.
Well,
I agree.
All right.
so you hear Framed and Settled, like, happy to keep C Engineer. Boaty suggesting Foe, which, I don't know, Foe's incredibly good. So I'm kind of surprised at that, but it was something I was expecting. If we look at the board here, when you've got 9 contestants in a banning call, they're inevitably going to be from all over the place. So it's very easy to settle on someone who's unallied in the middle, which is why it was a massive threat if our team lost today, because that's looking like me. It's looking like Boaty, which is in the middle, easy targets, because ultimately people are going to have their boys and girls' interests at heart. And of course, I have my own interests at heart here. I don't want to look like I'm going against this side, and that's why I even bring up the subject of, do we even want C Engineer to go home? I'm trying to prompt these guys to be like, okay, we don't want C Engineer to go. We're going to choose who goes in now. But they don't really take the olive branch I give them. I'm happy to let other people lead this conversation. It's not going to make me any enemies. And I'm reporting back to EVscape saying, it's a mess. Who do you want? Someone that can beat Tom. So someone that can beat C Engineer. And I'm just reporting the facts. Seems like Phil or Torvesta. We just want Tom out of the alliance, so somebody good against him, and I'm like, Foe, just to get the all clear that Foe would be okay. I don't want to piss anyone off in this call, because there's public record. Anyone can go back and tell what was said in that call. You know what I mean? I don't want to be seen to be going against my word. So
If it's a PvP challenge, C Engineer will beat Foe, and Foe's very strong outside of PvP. And then obviously if it's whatever, then we just see who wins, really.
I'm down for either
That's my
forward
thought
Torvesta.
process. I don't think we should send
Throw
Torvesta.
either.
I don't
We've
think
yet
it
to
would
have
be
a
2
PVM
PvP in a
challenge.
row, though.
Yeah, we've yet to have
After being
PVM.
on this 3 times in a row, I really don't think that it would be.
I'm
That
assuming
that
it's
would
just
be the case.
random. Like it's just.
But
kinda-
it's definitely worth
People
noticing
want
then,
more.
though, that he'd be protected next week. So it's
Yeah.
worth thinking that.
I think you have to send someone like Torvesta against someone like Victim and hope it's like a trivia sort of thing,
Mhm.
and make sure it's not a PvP challenge. Because I don't know. I mean, I really think it could be because we haven't had a PvP banning yet.
So they get into this thing about trying to anticipate what the banning is going to be about, which I think is a dangerous and slippery slope to go down. And I mean, great time to stay silent. You must be mad if you think I'm showing my hand to 8 different people. I'm just sitting there like, I don't care who goes in. Obviously, I want someone good in, so Foe is actually a pretty attractive target for me. And Settled and Framed, like, they seem kind of happy with Foe. I don't know why that is. I think they've just, like, convinced themselves it's going to be PvP banning. Because you'd imagine Foe would beat Sea Engineer in all areas of the game which aren't PvP, and in PvP Sea Engineer would win. But that's a massive gamble to take. I don't know. I was really questioning this decision, but it's fine. I'm happy to send Foe in because that is somebody very strong, and I would like to get rid of him. So I'm all right with it. I'm not going to fight too hard to keep Sea Engineer here.
Yeah, I like the idea of sending in people with opposite skill sets.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Yeah.
So you get rid of.
And then we find out that Mr. Tasty Zoe, they're like, yeah, they're happy with Foe as well. It's not going to be any of these guys. They've done their job. They've protected their side. I don't know. Nobody explicitly said any of these things, but that's just what I picked up when I was in all this sort of stuff.
Of at least one strong player for future challenges.
Yeah. I say victim or foe.
I vote Foe.
Very telling. Victim or Foe? Oh, they're in the middle. They're not on this side. That's what I was just thinking. That was going through my brain. I was like, yes, they're on this side.
Foe.
Alright, I vote Foe.
All right.
Guessed on you guys were his friend, then fuck him. Poor Foe, man.
He wasn't even in the conversation like a minute
He's
ago.
typing right now. He knows. He heard us.
Bro, that's crazy.
He is. Dude,
Poor guy.
I love Foe, and he's incredibly smart. That's why he needs to go.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
So Foe gets savaged, and the conversation did move incredibly quickly. And I do think it's because there was that many people that nobody wanted to show their cards, and that's why they went for somebody that wasn't allied with anyone. And Foe, yeah, just landed on him. So interesting. I feel like that is a mistake from Framed and Settled and 8sat and Jimmy. That they had 4 people, and then they could have like leaned on me a bit. They could have leaned on Boaty. They could have sent whoever they wanted in there. And was Foe actually their number 1 pick? I don't know. I feel like that was a bit of an error. The crux of it are if everybody in this call was fine with it, then I was fine with it. Nobody defended Foe at all, so I was just thinking, unallied, just a lamb to the slaughter, unfortunately. Would have probably been me or Boaty if we lost, so great job we won. And this would have been an absolutely horrendous banning for me to be a part of, because it essentially just came down to RNG at the end. I could easily go home based off something like this, so I was pretty happy I wasn't in this banning. And it ends up Sea Engineer goes home. So, yeah, Foe is safe. And actually, before the banning, I reached out to Foe saying, if you survive, you need friends, I can be a friend. And he's like, I know you voted for me, but I actually didn't. I didn't mention Foe's name at all to go in. And I said, I didn't. I was quiet and said, I don't mind who goes in. Completely true. You got voted in because you're between 2 alliances, which is why I am too. Good luck. I'm not an alliance, though. And I was like, yeah, that's why you got voted in, because nobody wants to give way and vote their friends in, and that's what I saw that happened there. Off the back of the banning call this week, I do a bit of relationship building. I'm telling Virtuoso all about the stuff that I've done in this Gielinor game so far, because I think he kind of knows that already. But I tell him it all, and I said, who do you vote for each week then, if we're trusting each other now? And then, this is the entire challenge. He waits until after the banning call and everything. I'm like, no Virtuoso name mentioned in the voting call, you're good. And then he tells me, big yeah, and I voted for you the first week. So he still doesn't really trust me. I was like, I know you voted for me first week, of course he knows, what doesn't he know? I'm glad you told me. Wait until after this week though. I'll let him know that I know that he waited, -1 trust point. He's like, I literally was your ride and die last year, so let's not start. I also messaged some of the other people on the losing team with some performative trustworthiness, like, want me to have your back? And I just knew Sinfin I wasn't going in because Zoe and Tasty were in there. And yeah, just trying to build some sort of bridges, saying it's all going to be okay. Like, I'm not risking anything by doing that, but potentially, I don't know, maybe they'll not vote for me in the future or something. Did the same with Victim as well, trying to build a little bridge there so you can sleep safely and stuff. I've got no allies, exactly. Same narrative as always. Then we have skill specs. I say you can sleep easy. I can smell you up to something, Mr. Mission. Then I'm also building rather a lot of bridges with Mr. EVscape. I said, feel like that's a win today. C goes or foe, and he's like, hopefully C because foe solo. And then we're like, oh yeah, he's probably solo. I mean, obviously I can't trust EVscape, but from everything that happened this week, seems fairly accurate. So treating C Engineer going as a win to EVscape. And we were talking about how the banning call went and that sort of stuff. And I was just telling him he better not make this mistake. I said, if anyone is voted in from your alliance, so say C Engineer this week, there's no reason to vote me in to murder them if you think I'm good at the game. So like the opposite situation would be, say, Vitoso got voted in, and then they had control of the winning call, and then decided to put me in. That would make no sense. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. If you're in, we're out. No fucking chance." Which is great to hear. Building bridges, baby. I was talking to EVscape for quite a while when we were waiting for our confessional. If you don't know, we film a week, and then a lot of us normally wait round, and then we do the confessional bit where we're like in the booth saying, "I can't believe I was winning at this point," and all that sort of stuff. And I was just discussing lots of different sides of the game of EV. And Hanani had her mic muted and was like pretending to be AFK. I don't know if she actually was, but this just shows how like sussed out we are. We were just speaking in a way that we were just talking one to one, but we were speaking in a way that we were talking in a 20-person group chat. Like, Hannah's listening, I know. It's just that's the level that we were fucking playing at. Like, I don't know, just really sketched out and sus of everyone. So where does that leave the games at the end of week 3? We've got C Engineer going, a big blow to this side. But I'm still in decent relationships with Framed, I think, because they seemed fine with Foe going in. These guys seemed fine with Foe going in. Everyone was fine with Foe going in, so I'm kind of safely assuming that he is solo at this point. Also built a bridge of EVscape. I could have taken a front role in that and really tried to get Torvesta in, who's one of his strongest allies, but I didn't. I sat back. A bit of an observational week from me. Nothing too crazy. It's all good. We're getting through. A bit of an under the radar week, which I think is good after the second week, after I caused so many waves. Remember, this is how I saw the games, and I'm being completely factual and accurate to how I was thinking and feeling at the time. Obviously, I'm not 100% right. I don't think anybody in this competition knew exactly what was going on or the intricacies. I don't even think Soup knows. There's so many different relationships and all that sort of stuff. And to try and explain it all with hindsight and everything, I feel like I may as well just keep it simple and explain it through my lens. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed. I really didn't expect nearly 50k people to be watching these. Yeah, so drop a sub. Let's get 10k subs on this random channel. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm safe for another week. Feels so good.